Okay, so where are we starting out here?
So basically, these are the moms, bro. So initially, when we started all this, we would start from seed, and we hunted genetics from people like Oni Seed Co. and Greenfire Genetics and 808 Genetics. And so when we got all these seed projects, we'd pop everything, and as we found things we liked, to keep it in our lineage, we would take the moms, take cuts, and establish moms. So everything in here is a different mom of various staples that we have, So like this one right here, this is the Motor Breath. This one right here is GMO, which is one of the more popular strains that we're known for. I think that's your favorite.
So when you see a mom, since there's obviously no nugs growing on these, like how do you visually identify the difference?
So basically, plants have two main states of life. There's a vegetative state and then a flowering state. And so you can keep a plant locked into the vegetative state. It doesn't have to flower. And that's all based on the light cycle, how many hours we let the light stay on. So as long as we keep the lights on for so many hours, anything really above 17 hours, then they'll stay locked in veg, and they'll just continue to grow and grow and grow, so that we're able to come in and take clones off of them. And that's how we're able to populate rooms with the same genetic, And so basically that's it. It's like every round we determine what we want to go into the room. Every one of these moms is a different genetic. So it's just a matter of, all right, this round are we going to grow GMO or Motor Breath or Hot Tropic like over there, or Papaya Cooler or whatever, we kind of pick what we want. And then we go and hit those and take as many clones as we need to populate however many lights we're going to grow.
Is there any difference in growing like a female plant than a male plant? Like, do they need different things?
They don't need different things, but you never grow males unless your intent is to populate and pollinate and create new genetics. So males' only goal is to create pollen.
Yep.
They don't make flower sites. They don't make buds per se.
Yep.
They have a flowering cycle, but when they flower, they produce pollen. Whereas when a female flowers, she produces, which is what we smoke. So that would be the biggest difference. But yeah, so we don't keep males in here. We do have one male floating around, but he's in the other room with the rest of the moms, essentially.
You keep them segregated.
Yeah, you keep them. You don't have to when they're in veg. It's totally fine, because again, until you put the plants into flower, nothing's going to happen. You can keep males with females. It's once it's in flower that's not a thing anymore. So yeah, that male we keep alive because it's just a good male. And when we continue to hunt genetics and pop seeds and find more phenos, we can always go back to that male again and reuse it to make more seeds and more genetics and more crosses. So, but yeah, what goes into the rooms is all the females, essentially, the clones of all of these.
It's a very interesting room. You got some real big ones back there too. Like,
yeah,
you're about to run out of ceiling space in here, dude.
Yeah, bro. It's the never-ending battle. This is the battle of trying to grow. The intent for me is never been to be like a trapper. It's never been to do that. The reason I named the company Swank Genetics was I wanted to sell seeds. I want to bring genetics to the world, but nobody's going to buy genetics from a nobody. So it's 100%. Like we have to show flower. We have to show rosin. We have to be like, oh, well, this plant can give you this rosin. This plant can give you this flower. It's like, and then after so many years of doing that, we're finally to a point where I think people believe in the brand, the process, what we're doing. And so like now it's about how do we keep this many moms? And this isn't even all of them. As you saw, there's another room with more moms.
So we're going to see that.
We're getting to a point now where the next step for us is probably tissue culture.
Okay.
Which allows us to get rid of these moms and put them in vitro. It's a whole conversation we get into later, but
interesting. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. So
so it basically allows us to more or less store the genetics in test tubes. That's the easiest way to think of it. So instead of having a room like this filled with moms, I can have one shelf that's 3 feet wide and have 500 moms on it.
Sick.
So it's a different way of storing genetics. It's not needed when you're not at scale, but now that we have so many moms and the goal is to make so many seeds, we have to. We just have to selectively have a place where we can grab genetics from and then just go, okay, this round we're going to pollinate these set of genetics as opposed to just this, It's just overwhelming, It's very overwhelming.
I mean, you do a lot, bro. I don't get how you keep up with all this. Like I've been to a lot of grows in my life, and I mean, you guys who have watched my content for a while have probably seen me go to a lot of different grows and a lot of different people's setups, and like, you're one of the only people who literally does every step of the process. Like, you breed the genetics, you grow the flower, you wash the flower, like, you do everything.
And a lot of why that is, bro, is, full transparency, I just don't think there's a lot of people doing good things in this industry anymore. When I got into this scene, it was a community. And now it's not. Everybody's out for themselves. Nobody wants to pay homage to the people that helped them get to where they're at. Nobody wants to help each other out. It's how can I step on your throat to make sure you don't thrive?
Dog eat dog world.
Yeah, but it's crazy in this because this is a $1 billion industry. There's so much room for growth. And the fact that people want to garner and hide things and act as if whatever they do is better than the next guy, it's very frustrating to me. So I don't do this by myself through and through, single source per se, out of the fact that I don't want to collab with people. It's very difficult, man. Everybody has an angle and everybody has an edge and everybody wants to just be out for themselves, bro. It's the easiest way to put it. So it's like, this is birthed out of sheer necessity. In the beginning, when I had one light and nobody gave a shit about Swank, it's like, okay, well, cool. Well, can I get a genetic? Yeah, but I want $20,000 for a tray of cuts. It's like, well, all right, bro. Like, what am I going to do with that? You know, it's like, I got one light. I'm just trying to grow, you know?
Yeah.
So that lack of getting help in the beginning, you know, it's like this, the tale of everybody will come back once you make it and be like, dude, the whole time I knew you were going to make it. And it's not. That's never the case. Like, no, bro, you guys were all telling me I wouldn't make it. You guys were all trying to tax me. You guys were all trying to not help and not give me tech and not show me how to grow and help make it a little easier. So, like, we got to this point out of just fucking up a lot because we didn't have any help. I'm self-taught, bro. Like, I figured all this out through losing rooms, losing genetics, losing lights from doing power incorrectly, losing things from mold and losing things from mites and like I lost everything over and over and over and over and over. And then eventually we got to a place where through all that loss, we educated ourselves, you know? And then now it's like, we have the knowledge, why go back?
Yeah.
You know? And so that's why you're looking at a room filled with moms that are about to touch the ceiling, is it's like, there's just no need to reach out for help anymore, you know?
Yep.
Now we just figure it, and again, now we're finally to a place where it cannot be about the flour, it cannot be about the hash. We've proven that, we've shown that, people know consistency over years, people understand, like, damn, it's just always fire, it's always consistent. The same Swank #1 I got 7 years ago, when he puts it in a jar 7 years later, it's the same smell, the same look, it's the same. And like that day in and day out, year in and year out consistency, that's the whole reason we're launching the seeds now. It's just like that was never my goal. The seeds, man, that's what it is. And finally, I think that the community, people like yourselves and Eric and whoever else, you know, like my boy Chris and just a lot of people that believe in me that have big platforms, they're all willing to help me now and help platform this and help push the seeds. And, you know, that's the most rewarding thing for me, bro, because it was never about selling flour or selling. It was about seeds, but how do I get people to want them, you know?
Yeah.
And we're there.
I mean, it seems like genetics are really your passion at the end of the day.
It's everything, bro.
You know?
It's absolutely everything.
And I got to say, I mean, I think that is one of the main things that draws me to your flower is, like, you have a lot of shit that, like, I've never smoked before.
I appreciate
Like, I've
that,
never
bro.
seen anything like that. Like, your GMO is not like normal GMO. You know, it's a very unique take on it.
And I appreciate that, bro. And what's crazy about that is full transparency is that cut of GMO, I can't really say where I got it from, but the person that gave me that cut of GMO, he blessed me with that. And it's the same cut of GMO that some of your most popular companies that have GMO grow. It's not a crazy cut that I hunted. That GMO and this motor breath are the only two things I've ever gotten from a cut.
Interesting.
Everything else was started from seed, from us. But in the beginning, when I was trying to find the GMO, that was in like 2019 when it was at its absolute peak.
Yeah.
And everybody wanted it, and everybody was taxing to get the cut. And randomly, a dude that worked for another spot had a falling out with that guy, and he was like, "Yo, if you want the cut, it's yours. Just look out for me someday." You know?
Perfect.
And I was like,
chance happening.
Cool. So it's like, yes, it's different, but when you say that, it's good for me, and a lot of people say that, and it's cool to me because that's not some special cut. I didn't hunt that. I didn't do anything crazy. That's the same cut that's been in the market for a long time.
Yeah.
And that to me just goes to show it is about the grow. It really is, bro. Because
100%.
I'm not growing a special cut of
100%.
GMO. You know, it comes down to, again, the care, the love.
Genetics are just the first step.
Yep.
You know?
100%. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's the moms. And we have more, but you know, we can show you some flour now if you want to.
Let's
see some
do
flour.
it, dude.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Take me to the next room.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gents. So once again, we have some more moms in here, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. This
Mama.
is so like to what I was saying in the other room with the moms. It's like, welcome to my nightmare / heaven, I guess. But this is the problem with doing what I'm doing. Is this is why we're gonna start doing the tissue culture stuff. because right now, if we don't start TCing, I'm gonna run out of space, bro, and I'm gonna have to start killing off genetics because, you know, obviously there's a lot of overhead in keeping this many moms, and again, being that I'm not really in this for the money per se, I have to have these. You know,
Yes.
it's not like a dude that's trying to trap where it's like, no, I'll just keep one mom and I'll just keep pushing out product. It's like, no, I need as many genetics and as many moms as possible so I can do as many different runs and as many different crosses and as many different breeding projects as possible, you know? And so it's like, yeah, this is the nightmare. This is why we're going to the TC, but this is the rest of the moms. Like, this is currently what we have. I think right now we have 23 staple genetics in total between the first mom room you saw and this room right now.
Wow.
And so, like, again, it's cool because you can see the difference in structure and size. You know, there's plants back there that are the lychee candy that's in there that doesn't stretch. It's hard to see, but if you look in the very back over here, there's a plant that's like a third the size.
Very tiny back there.
Yep, that's lychee
And that's
candy.
the lychee mom.
Yep. So same thing, like how it doesn't stretch in flower, it also doesn't stretch in veg comparatively to other genetics. And it's cool. Like, you can see this. This is our papaya cooler, right? This is a very big and bushy plant, takes up a lot of area. You know, all of these moms were taken on the exact same day. So these are all the same age. So the fact that you have some that are more wispy, some that are fatter and denser like this, some that are shorter and squat like that, some that are like this where they're more just a tight plant that just grows vertical. You know, that's the cool thing too, is you can also get a lot of information from plants in the vegging stage too. You know, so yeah, I just wanted to show you guys the rest, and like it's cool, man. The moms are my favorite thing to look at, honestly.
So I'm curious, what is this that you grow them in? Because that's what you use for everything, yeah?
Yep. Yeah. So this is rock wool, and specifically these. A lot of people grow it with hydro. That they grow in rock wool. So that's basically volcanic rock that they heat up to a molten temperature and then they spin it. So kind of think of it like a cotton candy machine.
Okay.
And they basically heat up molten rock and then they spin it and like
back. It's like stuck to my gloves.
Yeah, that's from all the flour. But yeah, so basically it's just volcanic rock, so it is natural in that sense.
Interesting.
And what it is it's a fibrous material after they spin it. So the reason I use this and how I got to using this is the shape that it is. It doesn't really compact down. It's kind of like Legos in the sense of how it compacts. So meaning like if you just throw a bunch of Legos in a bin, you're going to see a bunch of pockets of air where they land weird ways, and then there's pockets. So what I found initially when I started doing this is that those pockets allow for faster rooting. And so because the roots don't have to fight to go where they want to go. And so there's also better airflow, so you don't have to risk as much of like getting root rot, which is a common problem with people, like overwatering your plants. Just like if you sat in a tub too long, you start to get pruny, right? That happens to them.
Oh.
So you want dry back in your roots. It's called dry back, right? You want your medium to dry out to a certain point so that you don't have pruning like a human would if they sat in a tub too long, right?
Yeah.
So by that logic, having these square like they are, you just naturally have big ass pockets of air all throughout this pot, you know? So you get faster rooting times, you get more rapid root growth, and then you also just have better oxygenation for the roots. You have a easier time getting a dry back and having the medium dry out, so you don't have to worry about other issues that can come from not having your medium dry out, right? And then it's just clean, bro. The cool thing with this is that we pot it, so that's something that a lot of people don't do with hydro. A lot of people that grow with rock wool, they grow in bigger blocks that are called Hugos, sometimes Big Mamas. There's different names that they have for different sizes, but the most common one are Hugos, which are 6 inches by 6 inches by 6 inches. And people will take a clone, and you'll see in a minute when we get to the clones, people will take a clone and they'll put it into a 6-inch cube, and they'll actually grow in that cube. The downside to that is that you're never able to develop a root mass per se, right? And root masses are important because that's how you're going to get the strength in the plant, so it can hold itself up, and when it starts producing colas, not fall over, right? So the bigger the roots, the bigger the fruits. That's kind of like one of the sayings in the underground,
Oh, that's
right?
a bar. I
Right.
like that.
So with that being said, like, it's all about establishing a root mass. And so in traditional grows these days, when people grow with hydro, specifically rock wool, they don't do that. A lot of people stack. I don't really know any other gardens that are potting like this. But that's why, bro. Between the oxygenation, the better vegging times, the faster rooting, and then the ability for it to dry back better, it's just a better way, and you can get a root mass with the pot. And then aside from that, the only other big thing is that they don't retain. So the reason I enjoy this is that the medium doesn't retain nutrients. It's kind of every day that you water, it gets rid of what happened the day prior. if that makes sense.
Okay.
So you don't have issues with what they call stacking. Now you can if you don't water enough, but that's a whole other conversation. Assuming you water correctly and assuming that you get runoff, meaning that you water enough where water starts coming out the bottom of the pot, that way you know everything's fully saturated, then you'll never get stacking. You'll never have issues with your pH. You'll never have parts per million issues where stacking means that basically if I water but don't let it run off, then the pH changes in the medium because I didn't flush it per se. I more just watered it enough and then it sits there, right? So you want to water until you see stuff coming out the bottom because then you're flushing out what you did the day prior, if that makes sense. So like the cool thing with that is if you do that, then you're good. But you can stack where if you don't water enough, then the next day you water, it's going to higher pH and your parts per million. And the next day it'll make it higher. And eventually you can make your medium toxic to where it'll kill the plant.
It's no good.
It's no good.
It's dangerous.
Yeah, so this allows you to, it doesn't take things, it doesn't keep anything, so it allows you to not have those issues, bro. So all the way around, it's just a better, for me personally, it's a better thing for indoor. I do love soil. I'm not a dude that hates soil. Like that's always the big debate with growers. It's like, I'm a living soil this, or I'm a hydro that, or I'm a whatever, whatever, whatever. I don't care, bro. I love it all. Just show me something fire that I can smoke, and I don't really give a fuck how you did it, bro. Is it fire? Great. You know, I'm much more simple with that. But for me, for indoor, I believe this is the best way to do it, in my opinion. That's not a fact. It's just for us and our way, it's the best way. If I was outdoor, 100% soil all day, I wouldn't even consider doing this, you know?
Hell yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, that's really it. Outside of that, it's just talking seeds, show you some clones, and that's
Check
it,
them
bro.
out, dude. We got a lot of clones on the table here.
Yes.
Let's take a look.
Yeah.